Let's start, though, with Dak Prescott, who we're getting closer and closer. Monday is the franchise tag deadline, right? Deadlines bring deals. You guys ever heard that expression? Deadlines bring deals. And whether it's the March 18th year-end, year-begin deadline or this upcoming Monday franchise tag deadline, deadlines bring deals. And Dak Prescott is going to get a new contract from the Cowboys. Like, we have hypothesized over whether or not it would be a good idea for the Cowboys to pursue Tom Brady. For the Cowboys, I've offered up the let him walk and draft, trade up and draft Tua, figure out a way to get Tua there with a ready-made team with a quality offensive line. You actually save money in the end. But I'm also a realist in regards to, look, he's not going anywhere. Eventually a deal is going to get signed. And I sat here yesterday, and Mark Schlereth, who I like, respect, admire, and understand he's been through this 10 times over as a player through 3 Super Bowl winning teams. He's like, look, in the locker room, you got to get a dollar more than the other guy. That's kind of forwarding the cause, which sounds great. But here's the flaw with it. Well, there's several flaws with it. You are worth what someone's willing to pay you. So if Jerry Jones says, I'm willing to pay Dak Prescott, he turned down 33, let's say $35 million a year becomes the asking price. That's what gets the deal done. If Jerry Jones is willing to pay, that apparently is what he's worth. But you're also worth what the market will bear and what other suitors may offer. And this is where the Cowboys, if they really wanted to, and again, I'm offering up to you that the likelihood of this is the 0.0001%, like death by bee stinging and shark biting sort of numbers per year. But does anybody think on the open market Dak Prescott would command $35 million a year? The answer is no. The answer is no. That's why it's a business, but this is a very unbusiness-like decision. Because it was really a business decision. You say, go ahead, Dak, go get an offer from somewhere else, and we'll see if we can match. If there was no salary cap, if they did not have the franchise tag implications, if he was actually allowed to go pursue whatever the biggest contract is, he's not really. And it feels like the Cowboys, who we've told you before, Jerry Jones is going to relent. That's who Jerry Jones is. He's the dad who takes away the cell phone. No cell phone for 2 weeks. And then the very next night, the kid says, yeah, but I can't do my homework without my cell phone because all my friends know exactly what we're supposed to do. Okay, here. Let's limit your screen time. That's Jerry Jones. Many of you, I'm sure, as parents as well. But if Jerry Jones really wants to overpay for this, fine. We have all been, I think many of us, if you've owned more than one home, not at the same time, I'm not talking Cowherd type of, I have a home here, I have a home there. Hey, doesn't everybody have another home? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you've bought a house, I'm pretty sure you've bought more than one, maybe more than two. Right? I'm not a 30-year fixed guy. No one I know lives in a house for more than for 30 years, let alone more than 5 years. Nonetheless, if you've owned a couple homes, you've probably bought a home where you're like, man, why did I pay so much for this house? Well, see, the comps, the one down the street went for $450, and the one across the street went for $475. So your house went for $5. Like, yeah, except mine's not on as good a lot. I can't actually sell it for $5. I overpaid because I was trying to keep up with the Jones and keep up with the comps in the market, and now I'm underwater on a house. That's the Cowboys. Right? That is what they're walking into. It's like we all know that what they're walking into. Every single one of us. This is not to tell you that Dak Prescott can't play. This is not to tell you that Dak Prescott is not capable of competing for and even winning a Super Bowl. I don't think Dak Prescott's a top 5 quarterback. Frankly, I don't believe he's a top 10 quarterback. He's somewhere in that fringe of 8 to 15, depending upon what's around him. He's not one of the elite guys. But I would also say that Jimmy Garoppolo's not either. or hasn't shown himself to consistently be, and he should have won a Super Bowl this year, right? Nick Foles, who's a career backup, who's gotten benched for Gardner Minshew, also won a Super Bowl. Like, we could go through whatever you think of Joe Flacco, through his career, he won a Super Bowl. So we do, in our mind, think you got to be an all-time great to win a Super Bowl. And history, especially recent history, doesn't always agree with that. Many times it does not. I mean, even when Peyton Manning won his second Super Bowl, he was terrible his last year. 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. The offense did nothing to win the game. Nothing. Special teams, defense won that game against Carolina Panthers. But it makes it prohibitively more difficult to have better players than the other team, to be better, to lift up the quarterback if you're making top dollar. The stats are really, really simple one. The last 10 years, the guy who has taken away, has the highest salary cap number in the NFL, all been quarterbacks. 8 of them haven't even made the playoffs. You become so top heavy, you paid so much for that house, you can't furnish the damn thing. That's what you're doing here. You're overpaying for a house because of the neighborhood you think it's in, even though you're like, yeah, it's really not that good a lot. It's on a main street. And then once you pay that much for the house, are you going to be able to decorate it or redo it or repaint it or put in the pool? They're like, man, if this had a pool, that's what Dak Prescott is. He's the home that's on the right street, that's got all the right stuff. But, man, you really need to add doors, windows, new floor, paint. And if you had a pool, it would be amazing. But if you end up overpaying for the house, you ain't got money left for all that stuff. And so you're just left with a house, which is fine, but needs to be redone and needs to ultimately have a pool for everybody to be happy. That's Dak Prescott. And those houses, if you've bought a house before, you're sitting there, and you know what ends up happening after like a year of being in it? You end up resenting the house. You can't even enjoy it. I'm speaking from personal experience, Joy. This actually happened to us. So when we first moved to Connecticut, we bought a house. We liked it, but there was another neighborhood that was like, there's a river in between, direct shot a mile away. When we moved into the neighborhood, which fit us better, like everybody had little kids running around and whatever. It was awesome. And the house was fine, but I overpaid for it. It wasn't, there's a bunch of things, little things I didn't like. And so instead of enjoying that house, which is still a great house, just I overpaid for it, right? Instead of enjoying that house, I ended up resenting that house. And I think we were there like 2 years. We actually bought a house 6 houses down the street, which was a better buy, like my favorite house I've ever owned.
Did you have another option? Did you have time?
Yeah. We got into you get into start like bidding for things, and you're like, all right, yeah, we'll offer you a little bit more. Yeah, we'll offer you a little bit more. Like, all right, we're only going to sell our house on contingency and then you start negotiating your own home, you sell your house, you're like, wait, I didn't actually totally want that house. I just wanted that neighborhood, and if I just waited, yeah, it was a learning experience, right? But Jerry Jones has done enough of these deals before that you would feel like if they would just have patience, ultimately, I don't know if you'll get your way. And some of this is the salary cap and the idea that you can franchise tag him. And if you really don't think a bigger offer's out there, the basic franchise tag is like $27 million, $28 million. Look, I'm not disputing the fact that Dak Prescott has played for a sum of money that was less than what he should have commanded on the open market previously. But that's not part of this calculation. Dak Prescott being underpaid the first couple years of his career, being part of this contract negotiation, to me, is like when people say, well, LeBron should win the MVP because he's 35. Like, no. If he wins the MVP, it should be because he's the most valuable player in the league. If Dak Prescott is worth more money than every quarterback in the league, it should be because he's worth more money than every quarterback in the league.
No, I agree with the LeBron sentiment. But for Dak Prescott, yes, from Dak's perspective, that absolutely is a thing. From the Cowboys, sure.
Yes. Should it be a thing? The Dak
for
thing?
Dak?
Yes. I know what you're saying. For him, it's a thing. And I know you're saying for the Cowboys, it's not. But if you were advising Dak, you'd be like, man, you should really hold that against them.
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
Why?
Yeah. Because he's done a lot of winning for them. He's kept the franchise stable, the biggest brand in all of sports, and he's been playing on a 4th-round rookie contract. Yeah, I being severely underpaid, yes, I would use that as leverage for me. They may not care about it, and they probably shouldn't, because I do agree with you. But yeah, if I'm Dak, of course.
Yeah, it's interesting because there's also the perspective of the money that he made outside of the Cowboys. Money he would not have made had he had the exact same success with any other franchise. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, but again, like you're talking a small amount as compared to what $100 million, $115 million guaranteed. Like he didn't make $100 million.
But he wouldn't have, and even if he was on a rookie 1st-round contract, he would not have made the money that he made off the football field with the Cowboys. Right? Like we're thinking that he would have had a $100 million contract. If he was a 1st-round draft pick, he wouldn't have. They only make like, I don't know, 30 or 40 million over the first 4 years of their contract. Most of them.
Right, but Dak hasn't made remotely close to that.
He has off the field. Supposedly. Like, do you think he has an Oinkos deal if he's a quarterback for anybody else?
Yeah, maybe. Depends on how it goes. But look, I'm on Dak's side in this whole situation. I have been from the beginning. I always want to know what the plan is, like what's the replacement, and everybody can't be the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. It's a different situation than everywhere else.
Correct. It's a different league playing with the Cowboys than playing with half the other franchise.
Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.